may be curious. She's just not that type of young lady that's gonna get on the app.
It might be ghost. It might be a ghost app. It might look like a calculator, but it's really a dating app because she ain't trying to let you see it.
You're not helping.
I'm just saying. The question would be, who would have the more lucrative profile?
Oh, I don't know.
It's still cheap.
I guess it wouldn't matter for me.
All right.
He's gonna be like, man, I don't need to answer no questions. Yeah. You see this face? You see this skin? They gonna swipe right off of that on God.
And where you're at?
No,
I
it's
thought
not
I saw a shot of it's kind of gray or whatever. It looked like I saw some sprinkles coming down.
Not this morning, at least. Not when I got here. But
I'm good.
How's it raining where you are as usual, right? Nasty weather, a little cold and stuff, right?
Yeah. I had a big coat on today,
Yeah, you got the toes out today again?
Absolutely, 100%.
Pedicure and all that?
Look, I was telling somebody, I don't know who it was the other day, Max, we were talking, and I said I probably only put on shoes when I go to the gym.
So good. It's such a good life.
Unless I'm at a restaurant in the evening.
Right.
Other than that,
and then you put on those little summer slip-ons, right?
Or put on my Chucks or something like that, and that's pretty much it.
And you're good.
And I'm good to go. I'm trying to recover with the voice.
Yeah, what happened? I heard you on NFL Live the other day, sounding like you've been working.
You work at ESPN.
Yeah.
So
boy,
they're going to get every ounce of the juice out of the lemon.
That's it. Every ounce.
Hey, I don't have any complaints. I enjoy working with everybody, but sometimes them days just run, and when you the guy that they go to, you got to do it, I guess.
Well, the other thing is we're calling it work. Let's be honest. Like last night, Key, you know how you tell me, like, put the phone down, leave it alone, which when I started this job, which was the best advice anyone gave me about how to sleep, right? Like, just don't look at the phone, put it down, go to sleep. But last couple nights, Yankees games start after 7 o'clock Eastern. So, like an idiot, I'm just curious. The game is going on right then, so I start checking my phone. 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's a tight game. I keep checking my phone. So after I did that 2 nights ago, I'm like, you know what, for that, let me just put it aside. I got curious again. Started looking at it again. Now it's a close game. It's 1-1. It's whatever. The Reds take the lead. I'm like, oh, I'm good. Yankees come back, and I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. Let me just put the game on, right? Like, I'm not going to follow the whole game on my phone, lose sleep anyway. So now I'm watching the game. Yankees take a 2-run lead. It's extra innings. Oh, we got this. And collapse in the top of the inning and wind up losing. I stayed up past 11 for that.
Yeah, and on top of that, you're so pissed off, you probably won't go to sleep until you tire yourself all the way out.
100%. I had to drink a glass of wine to go to sleep.
You're so emotionally invested in the win, and it just all the sales just go away. That's why I don't look. When I get home, I throw my phone over, and I'm done until such due time that I need it. That's just not me, man. Because you mess around and be messing with that thing, it'll kill your sleep off.
Kill your sleep. It's the best advice. Because you get this, starting to do this show, you're getting up at, anywhere between 3:30, and I'll push it after a Monday Night Football game. I'll push it to 4:15 if I have to, right? Like just to get 4 hours in. And man, it's rough. So when you can get sleep, you got to leave all the distraction devices alone. Keyshawn J. Willimax, ESPN Radio. You know who they're not leaving alone? I don't know how to segue to this. DeAndre Ayton, Key. That's the news right now. I'm doing this just in, 2 p.m. Eastern, ESPN, yesterday. And we're getting ready to do the last segment when Woj drops the Woj bomb. And Tim Bontemps, talks about it in the final segment. DeAndre Ayton, they got an offer sheet out to him, right? And the offer sheet has implications because it forced the Suns to match. Listen to Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN senior NBA insider, on how Indiana may have scuttled a Kevin Durant deal to Phoenix.
Within moments of DeAndre Ayton signing a record 4-year, $133 million offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers, the Phoenix Suns match that offer sheet. They'll retain DeAndre Ayton, the restricted free agent center. Now, they can't trade him until January 15th, and DeAndre Ayton has the right to veto any trade for the next year. So how that impacts the Suns' pursuit of Kevin Durant, well, it makes it difficult for them to have the necessary assets to get a deal done for Durant. Remember, Devin Booker can't be traded for a year because of his contract extension. They had no interest in trading him anyway for Durant. And now Ayton, at least until January 15th, can't be moved. It will be challenging for Phoenix to find the kind of package they'll need to try to pry Kevin Durant out of Brooklyn.
What you think, Key?
It just says that based on what Woj just said, it sounds like Kevin Durant will be looking for a new home in another place and not in Phoenix. If you can't trade him till January, you can't move Devin Booker. On top of that, if Ayton has veto power, what makes you think he wants to go to Brooklyn and play? Why would he want to go to a team that's going to be, for the most part, decimated because you're losing the top dogs in Kyrie Irving along with Kevin Durant? So it's kind of, I wonder why Phoenix matched if it was a serious. Well, I guess you don't want to take the chance that you don't get Kevin Durant and you wind up losing both Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton.
What are your options?
Match.
What are your options
so
at that
you're
point?
You're kind of stuck at that point. It'll be interesting to see now who gets in it, how they can pull it off. But what happens in this situation, I think, Max, is that it lessens Brooklyn's demands for Kevin Durant.
The market goes down. Yeah. The market
like,
was a little soft anyway, Key.
So now you can't get what Rudy Gobert got and all the other people that's out there, looking for a Hall of Fame talented player like Kevin Durant, because there's not a lot of options, so to speak.
A lot of people are saying now, like a reaction of a lot of people is, when this news broke, is that KD is going to be in Brooklyn next year. That's the reaction of a lot of people. Now, I could see a lot of reasons why DeAndre Ayton would want to go to Brooklyn, why he wouldn't veto it. First of all, they are rebuilding, but the haul that you're going to get for KD and Kyrie is such that you get to rebuild, but with you as a key piece in a major media market with a lot of assets coming in. I could see where he would be okay with that. I mean, it depends on where he wants to live, all those kind of things. You have to talk to DeAndre Ayton.
He went to college in Arizona, Max.
Yep.
So
he's happy there.
He's happy there, right? I mean, you got to be happy there. You went to college there, even though it was probably a little incentive to go to college there, and now you're a pro there. So it's not as easy as I want to move and I want to live in Brooklyn. But there's other teams that are going to be out there. I'm sure you're still going to take a sniff at the Miami Heat. There's a lot of rumors swirling around that there could be a reunion back in Golden State. But if I'm Golden State, do I really want to give up? Do I want to give up everything, my young nucleus and core that they're going to come after to win a championship over, 2 championships over the next 4 years or so?
That's a great question.
Do I want to give up that, do I want to give up the Wisemans of the world, and maybe there's a Jordan Poole that they're reaching for, a Kuminga, just all those different pieces?
That's a great, when you think about how good the Golden State Warriors, how well they set this up, the hardest thing to do is to transition from one dynasty into the next era where you can also be highly competitive. You look at, you mentioned it, Wiseman, Kuminga, they're set up with size and talent, and Jordan Poole and Wiggins, they're set up to make a real smooth transition. Look, when Steph eventually is not playing at the level he's playing at now, that's hard to replace, but they're set up love right now. You're gonna move heaven and earth to bring back in KD to win what, another championship or 2? You just won it without him.
Yeah, and that's my whole point. You typically don't see basketball rosters set to the point where you can move from one dynasty sort of nucleus to another potential. You just don't usually see it in basketball. Think about it, I could just think about the Lakers when the Worthies and the Magics and the Cap were gone. We were left with Elton Campbells and Nicky V's, and it just didn't work out the way we needed it to. You typically don't see it. Think about Boston. When Bird and all those guys departed, they went on a bad run for a long period of time. They were messing around with D. Browns, and it just didn't work out until they got the big 3 where they won a championship. And you think about Miami and Miami Heat with those guys and Shaq and them and Dwayne Wade, it took a minute, and then they had to go get LeBron and them. But this situation at Golden State is like, I don't know, just perfect, it seems like, to be able to transition from Clay and Steph and Draymond in the Wiggins and Kuminga and Poole and possibly Wiseman and then whatever picks you have.
You want to hear something crazy about the Lakers because you brought it up, Key? You think of it, I mean, I think of it as, man, those were some gloomy days, right? Like post Magic and Worthy and all them. But actually, I just looked it up because I wanted to be sure. It was 2 years. They went 43 or 3 years, 43 wins, which is not terrible, right? 39 wins, which is also not good, but also not the worst in the world. They had one bad year with 33 wins. Key, then at 48, 53, 56, they had 2 bad years. That's like the doom